The National Register of Historic Places is the official list of the nation's historic places worthy of preservation. Authorized by the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966, the National Park Service's National Register of Historic Places is part of a national program to coordinate and support public and private efforts to identify, evaluate, and protect America's historic and archaeological resources. Listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1984, the chapel was founded as the Halltown Union Colored Sunday School in 1901 on the old Smithfield Charlestown Harpers Ferry Turnpike. The chapel was built on land donated by Daniel B. Lucas, a former state Supreme Court justice, from his nearby Rion Hall estate in response to the need of the black community for a place of worship. Original trustees of the Halltown Union Colored Sunday School were T.C. Green, George S. Euster, Frank Nichols, Moden Shelton, Roy Allison, and William White. The chapel was constructed by volunteer carpenters and stonemasons, some employed during the day by the nearby Halltown paper mill. Working in the evenings after their day jobs, they constructed the building from local wood and limestone, and moved to the building site on sleds and wagons drawn by mules and horses. The building portrays the Gothic Revival style popular in the mid-19th century, reflecting the public's taste for buildings inspired by medieval design. It has 8 engaged buttresses, 4 on each side wall, that reinforce the walls to the height of the window sills. The pointed arched windows and door are prominent elements in the design. The roof is steeply pitched in the Gothic style, and the entrance is sheltered with a stick-style roof that carries a short shingle-covered belfry. The sanctuary's open-beamed gable roof is designed similarly to the open-beamed roof of the entrance porch. The chapel is a unique example of stone religious architecture in Jefferson County and in the state of West Virginia, and its cathedral-like style gives it a stately and inspiring presence. Stained glass windows on the chapel's rear wall are distinguishing features, as is the Edna Shelton Memorial stained glass window over the front door. Miss Shelton, a descendant of a chapel founder, died as a toddler shortly after the chapel was built.
Thanks to a grant from the National Trust for Historic Preservation's Preserving Black Churches Fund and the skilled craftsmanship and artistry of Bluebird Stained Glass Studio in Fredericksburg, Virginia, cleaned and restored stained glass windows are being returned to the Halltown Memorial Chapel. The Edna Shelton Memorial window now graces the chapel front door. 3 stained glass windows will eventually be returned to the chapel's rear wall. Halltown, West Virginia in the late 19th century was a small community of approximately 100 residents. The primary employer was the Virginia Paper Mill, formerly a grist mill, now known as the Halltown Paper Mill. The land on which the Halltown African American Free School stands was purchased by freed slave Thomas Edwards from Virginia Bettinger Lucas's nearby Rion Hill estate. Ms. Lucas was known as the pastoral poet of the valley. In Western Virginia before 1860 and before West Virginia became a state, state-sponsored education for African Americans did not exist. In 1863, the West Virginia Constitutional Convention, as part of its responsibilities to form and establish the new state of West Virginia, directed the legislature to provide as soon as practicable, for the establishment of a thorough and efficient system of free schools. On December 10, 1863, the West Virginia legislature passed the state's first school law that established a system of instruction for 6 months of the year. However, this system was segregated by race, and townships with at least 30 African American children were required to supply buildings and teachers separate from facilities used by white children. By 1876, Jefferson County had 10 schools and 11 teachers assigned to educating the area's African American children. Mr. Edwards built the free school on the old Smithville-Charlestown Harpers Ferry Turnpike with his personal money in 1870 to educate his large family, including 13 grandchildren. The free school is a rectangular-shaped one-story structure. The exterior walls are red brick, constructed on a concrete foundation, and the roof is covered with slate shingles. The doors and window frames are wood. Mr. Edwards's daughter, Ada Edwards, married Benjamin Shelton. Olive Shelton Braxton, one of Ada and Benjamin Shelton's daughters, attended the free school and eventually attended Storer College, a historically black college, in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. After graduating from Storer College, Olive embarked on a career helping children in a special Jefferson County, West Virginia schools reading program. Following the closure of the free school in 1929, Mr. and Mrs. Shelton became the owners of the property, including the free school and the adjacent Halltown Memorial Chapel built in 1901. At that time, the free school became a private residence and was divided into 4 rooms. However, the structure continues to show a high level of integrity and the retention of original construction materials. In the late 1980s, the property transferred to the Halltown Memorial Chapel Association for the purpose of preserving and rehabilitating both structures. Olive Shelton Braxton's son, Philip Braxton, has continued to champion the restoration of the free school and the chapel following Mrs. Braxton's death at age 100 in 2016. The property has been continuously owned by the Edwards Shelton Braxton family since it was developed. The free school was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2004 and stands as a testament to the will and determination of African Americans in the late 19th and early 20th centuries to provide educational opportunities when none otherwise existed. Taken together with the adjacent Halltown Memorial Chapel, the free school, once restored, will enhance the understanding and interpretation of African American life in Jefferson County, West Virginia during this time. The Halltown Memorial Chapel Association has received a matching grant from the West Virginia State Historic Preservation Office to help fund the restoration of the free school.
The back is gone.
Yeah. So this is the organ that came with the chapel?
We took it out of the chapel. I don't know where.
You took it out of the chapel and just moved it into the school here.
I
Okay.
assume it is.
Okay. Now that's a cool piece.
I don't know how long it's been
That's a
there.
really cool piece. Yeah.
Looks like I got the right person. Are you you run the place?
I'm the director of the story.
Okay.
I'll take one of my cards right there if you want.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, so we've got a number of different photographs. Let's see, when was this pamphlet published?
I may have the pamphlet.
You might have the pamphlet on.
Yeah, I've already gotten some things from the organization that's restoring the places.
Yeah, like we've got some books in the library on the history of it.
Okay. So you've got some books from the chapel by chance?
You mean like religious books? Or
like hymnals or things like
I
that?
don't know if you have any that were specific to the chapel.
Okay.
It looks like most of what we've got relating to it is images and books about it that were published,
Right.
maybe by the church.
Okay.
So
So you don't have any furniture artifacts or anything like that?
it doesn't look like it. And then you said the free school.
Yeah, the free school is right next door to it. Have you been over there to see it? They've done a good job restoring the chapel, but
Yeah, and I think they're planning to do the school too, or
they're working on the school as we speak.
That's great.
I got a walk-through tour of that building last week, and it's in pretty bad shape. Just barely safe to walk through the place.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like we've got any physical artifacts that are specific to
Okay.
the chapel. We've got some, if you wanted some sort of general, like we've got some African American ladies' church hats.
Right.
Things that are might be relevant to what you're talking about in the video, but aren't directly,
Okay.
Tied to the chapel.
Not directly tied to the chapel. Okay.
Yeah, and we've got, if you go on our website and you want to look at what we do have in terms of photos, there's like a button that says view the collection, and you can, if you search for Halltown Memorial Chapel, you'll probably, some stuff will come up.
Okay, so I can do that online.
You can, and then if there's any images that you're interested in using, you can let me know, and I can send you a...
So is that URL on this card to find the museum?
I think our website is on there. Yeah, there it is at the bottom there.
At the bottom. Okay.
So if you go on there, and then there's a thing right at the top of the website that says like see our collection, and
Gotcha.
you can search for it there.
Okay, I'll do that, Lori. Thank you very much.
Before?
I have been in here before. In fact, I think it was you that showed me the John Brown artifacts.
Oh, good, yeah.
I made his wagon was here, and a piece of the rope.
Still, we redid the whole exhibit over the winter, so changed a little bit.
Okay, I'll come back for that.
Definitely.
If you've changed it.
We have, yeah.
Okay.
It's all
Still got the wagon.
Still got the wagon.
Is that it over there?
That's it over there. Yeah, we moved it.
Wow.
So we moved the exhibit over there a little bit and added some
That's
things.
Cool. Yeah, I'll probably come back and make
Sounds good.
a video about that too.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks. Good to run into you out here. That was great. Thank you very much.
You have a good day.
Thanks, you too.